Most people knew her as Justice O'Connor, some as Sandra Day, but only a few could call her Mom.
There was no Miller time, no idle time with Mom.
For Brian Day O'Connor, his mom kept him and his two brothers busy growing up.
You know, as kids, we learned how to ride a horse, round up, brand, drive a tractor, drive a truck, again, well before we were old enough to drive.
The family spent a lot of time on the ranch where his mom had grown up. When he was at home in this house, he was still busy but remembers a lot of fun and funny moments they shared as a family, sometimes at the expense of his friends.
Whatever any one of us might have a pal over, my mom would be in on the gig. She'd make dinner, we'd be sitting around the table, and there'd be a dribble glass. And you go to drink it, and it's sloppy. It causes you to drool. And my parents would say, what's the matter? And of course, we're all in on the joke. So my parents were pranksters.
And while he and his mom were laughing then at this dinner table, sometimes things weren't always as cheerful in the O'Connor house.
When I was not even old enough to drive, I had been secretly hang gliding, and my parents found out. My mom was furious, and she said, I would rather see you jump out of an airplane.
And so as soon as he turned 16, he did just that. But his mom kept her word.
But she made good on that, you know. So there is a time when she puts her fist down, and no means no. But also a deal is a deal with Sandra O'Connor.
Like this photo, Brian remembers that story now as one of the funny moments with his mom. Fast forward a few years later to 1982, when one of the moments he's most proud of sharing with his mom happened.
When she got on the court, she was the hottest ticket there was. So she had every academia, you know, university trying to give their commencement address. And of course, the one she chose was Colorado College, where I was graduating from. And so I think that was as special for her because she had paid my tuition along with my dad to give that a commencement address as it was for me to have her.
Brian has kept the speech from that day with him. He read it to me knowing that the words still ring true today.
She says that some of the best arguments in the 150 or so she heard that term have been made by lawyers who would be characterized as unknowns, and sometimes the argument of a famed lawyer failed to live up to his or her reputation. And so the essential point of all of this is simply to make the same point in a different context, that the individual can make things happen. So there's some other good things in here, but good advice for all of us from my mom back, goodness, 40 years ago.
After college, Brian would get to visit D.C. every now and then, and just like when he was a kid, his mom kept him busy.
Yeah, mom always made sure that when we would come and visit that we had a list of things. Okay, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here.
During her time on the bench, Brian got to know some of her colleagues.
And all of these folks I just considered friends, and was so happy to, on a one-to-one basis, get to know these people.
His mom focused on relationships, whether it be with colleagues at work, friends, or most importantly, family. And like Brian's graduation, she wanted to share her moments with them.
She had all of her family, grandkids and sons, sign this statue while it was still clay on the base of it, on the bottom of her robe, so that when we go to the federal courthouse, you know, there's Weston O'Connor, and there's, you know, Brian O'Connor and the other grandkids and whatnot. And so that's kind of a neat legacy to have.
And while that statue is just one aspect of Justice Sandra Day O'Connor's incredible legacy, to Brian, she'll always be Mom.
Apparently she liked this photo of herself. And how is it signed? For Brian, with love, Mom.
Craig Bradbury.
So she's Mom.
KGUN 9, on your side.